We're going to do a little bit of a development stream today where we're going to be experimenting with some of Unreal 5's new tools. Unreal 5 isn't released yet. It is still in preview, and we are running the preview build, which you can download and play with yourself, obviously without the Em8er source code or assets, but everything we show you today, you can check out in Unreal 5 yourself, which is kind of cool. And we are doing some spectacular raffles today. We do raffles every Chief Chat where we give away things like backer packs and skins for the game Em8er that we're working on. And because it's Labor Day weekend and we're not having a sale, I thought, why don't we instead give away massive packs? Why don't we raffle away today a $1,500 Arc Leech pack, which is a super mega duper pack that gets you all sorts of unique perks and some other high-end goodies that we're going to do today. And we're going to start right off and just start with a raffle and start with a bang, just to get this high roller stream going here. So I want everybody who's on the stream currently, go ahead and hop on in. I should probably tweet that the stream is happening right now. I did tweet that. I'm gonna put it on Discord though. Add everyone. Stream is live. First raffle happening. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start off with a raffle as an early bird special. We are going to do, let's see here. Let's just see. What pack are we going to do? I don't know, Ronan. What do you think?
Well, I've learned in my day you have to start a little bit slow so you don't give them too much. So perhaps, what's right above a Forerunner? Right above that.
What is right above a Forerunner? No. Higher. Kick it up.
Higher.
Kick it up.
Higher.
No, we're starting with a bang. Kick it up.
Oh, he's serious. He's serious.
I'm very serious.
A 5-runner? Are you serious? Okay. Good gravy. All right. Let's see. How big do we want to go? All right.
250.
Okay. I have to remember what that one was called.
Yeah, shifter.
There we go.
All right, we are going to start off with a bang. We're doing raffles. So the way this works is you have to join our Discord server. I would like to get a lot more people to join our Discord server. So if you are not in our Discord server right now, we're going to post the link. Moderators will post the link into Twitch chat. And this is the time to hop on over. You can see right on stream that I have Discord chat up and running. You want to be here because this is where Zeebus's raffling software, Em8er, who runs the raffles, this is where it all happens. And if you want to win a $250 shifter pack, backer pack for the game, with unique skins, with access to the developer builds, this is where you go. This is where you have to be right now. And we're starting the stream off with a bang, and we're going to go higher throughout the stream. We're going to be doing more of these as we talk about Em8er and we show you some stuff that we're doing with Em8er development in the newly ported over onto Unreal 5 version. And because it's Labor Day weekend and we don't have a sale, so we said, why don't we give stuff away? Give really good stuff away. All right, Ronan, let's do it. Let's do a practice raffle so that everyone knows how it works, and then let's go ahead and do that $250 shifter pack right away.
All right, just a moment. We are going to make sure we have the right name for this, and then we're going to, let's see here. This one is it's the Archon pack that we're about to do, right, Faye?
The Archon pack is the 299.
I got it wrong. It's not the shifter. Who said?
So we do we have a 250 or is it? It's a 299? I forget these. Okay. Excellent. There we go.
That's the one we're doing. Sorry, guys, I got
Archon.
the name wrong. And the value. It's actually worth more than I said. And we're just starting the stream off this way, but you want to stick around because we're going to be doing bigger packs all the way up to the $1,500 Arcliege Mac Daddy pack. So stick around. This is just the first raffle. This is your warm-up.
All right. Okay, so some of you might be new here. You may have never done a raffle with us before. So if you're new, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. All right, here's how it works. You're going to see a sentence from our community coordinator. That's Faye. Underneath that, you'll see a sentence from our Ember bot. And underneath that, you will see a little notepad. It's an emoji, and it has a pencil on it, okay? A notepad with a pencil on it. That is the emoji you're going to want to click. It puts you in the running. You might be like, what are these sentences? Well, they'll mention a raffle, and they'll give you a timeline, so you'll know what to do, okay? And this first one, once again, is a test raffle. A test raffle means that it's just a test to make sure you know what buttons to push and how it works. Now, I see we've got, 6, 7 new people already? So hopefully everybody's jumped in here to Chief Chat so they can hear me rambling. I'll try not to talk too fast, but no promises.
Let's keep going. We're not waiting around for long. If you didn't hop into our Discord channel now, it's going to be too late. So you better do it right now.
Yes. All right, Faye. Let's do this. Let's do this test raffle. Let's do it. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see how people do, and take it away.
All right, everybody ready?
Yes, you have to be in chat, Flush Kirino. If you want to be flush with a winner's pack, you got to be in Discord. Hop on over. Mods will post the link. Spam the link, mods. Every, 3 or so sentences, someone's going to wonder where the link is. In Twitch.
We'll give them 5 more seconds to get here.
There we go. Yeah, don't be shy with that link. Let's get them into Discord. And by the way, if any of you are shocked to see Maid Grums, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
And those wondering why does he never turn it around? He shouldn't. You really don't want him to do that. People want the cat girl.
I know. I gotta get the cat girl key bindings done. So, while you're doing that, I will pardon my settings here. You're gonna see here on screen. I wonder if.
All right, Faye. Faye, go for it. Go for it.
All right, everybody, get your clicks ready. On your mark, get set, click.
Once again, guys, this is the test raffle, and guys, while this is happening, please do not post in the chat. We need everybody to see it. And if it's gone, it's gone. It'd be too late. Okay?
Okay, that'll hide my settings.
His secret button presses. Our secret DMs where you tell me all the things that I can't tell. Hey, Jaded Prismo, you win face, thanks.
Congratulations.
Eldritch Secrets. All right, we're going to do the real raffle for the Archon $299 value pack. We're going to show a little graphic to let you know what actually comes in it, and we'll talk a little bit about that while that raffle is running. Faye, when you are ready, hit the button.
Alrighty. I'll give everybody a few more seconds to freak out here. We're still getting some more new people.
Yeah, we're starting off with a bang. Get into Discord because if you want to get this pack, and we are starting off with a $299. God, I can't remember the name. Archon pack. Archon pack, and we are only going to do more stuff. This is our Labor Day stream. We aren't having any sales on packs, so we are giving stuff away instead. I think you'd be okay with that. But you got to be in Discord for that to happen. And we'll start showing you some Ember stuff right after we do this raffle.
Free? Our prices are insane.
Insane!
All right. I think we have everybody in here now.
Unleash it.
All right. Everybody get your mouse clicks ready. On your mark. Get set. Click.
All right. Please remember, do not post while the raffle is running. Give everybody a chance to see it. We don't want it rolling away. Em8er, to answer that question, no, it doesn't. Because occasional giveaways are just kind of how things are. Whether it's a car or a pack or anything like that, okay? Now, where's that graphic? Where's the graphic? Hey, we need the
that's
Archon
right.
graphic.
They need to know what they're getting.
You need to know all the things. They don't know all the things. There it is. That's the Archon pack. Let's talk about what's in there for the new winner. The winner is Farias? Faye, is that your dummy account? What's going on here?
Nope, that's not me.
All right, Archon pack, just so you know, it comes with a max variant unique drop ship. That's, you have to be this level or higher to get that. It comes in orange, purple, and chroma colors. You get a bad backer decal. It's used on vehicles, frames, and as a spray, so all over the place when you like it. You get 2 test builds and playable mock-up. You get 2 final copies of the game when it comes out. You get the Razor Chroma Founder Dropship skin. I like Chroma. You get 3D printed files for the Kaiju model. You get to reserve your character name. You get a forum ribbon letting people know that you are an Archon on the forums. You get a Razor Chroma Founder G-Suit version 2. That's a player skin. On pilot skins, it goes, you get a male and a female version. You get access to the Founder Dropship. It's a unique model. Comes in blue and yellow. You get the Founder G-Suit version 2 player skin, the Carbon Fiber Special Shader Omniframe skins. There's like 3 versions for light, medium, and heavy. You get a forum tag, which is similar to a forum banner, but like that banner's a little fancier. You get put on the forum founder's wall, okay, which will be in the game way down the road there. And you get access to the PDF design book, so you can kind of see what Grums was thinking early on, and then you can marvel at how much it's kind of just happening. Pretty sweet.
Tomix is trying to get me to examine where the costume attaches to the shoulder. I know, I'm on to you. We did this last time. I might just do it though. For those of you who don't know, people were asking me to zoom in on stuff, and some of it was legit, but then I was like, this is causing some really lewd views of the character. Maybe this is somewhat intentional. So now I'm wary. All right. What's going on? Is it happening? Did we do it?
The raffle is done. We're back to you.
Oh, I had no idea the raffle was done. I'm sitting here just like, okay. Wow, I that shows you how much attention I pay to the raffles. Who won?
That was, let's see who won that big one. Who was that? That was that Farias? Farias? How do I say that?
Oh, yes. Congratulations, Farias. Farias of the clan Darius. All right. So a couple things to get out of the way. We are doing raffles. That was a $299 backer pack, and it's our Labor Day stream. We're going all the way up to the $1,500 max tier Arc Leech pack, which gets you some really awesome goodies. And this is for the game Em8er. If you don't know, we are doing what we call a rolling crowdfunding campaign, where we are doing it on a feature basis going forward. We plan to have a Kickstarter, but in the meantime, you get to see us develop it. We are going to be live streaming our Unreal 5 experiments in Nanite technology, which is basically unlimited polygons. Itty bitty tiny little space. We streamed this a little bit last time. We've learned a lot more since then. I wanted to share with you what we've learned. And also explore some new tools today that I have not really had that much experience with yet. But, I like to do this learning Unreal 5 live with you guys. And so we're going to be showing you a little bit of Unreal 5's modeling tool set. There is a complete modeler built into Unreal now, which lets you make and modify 3D objects. And this turns out to be very important for the nanite terrain that we're doing. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit of that. But I want to talk a little bit about the Neko skin. So this is was supposed to be a limited time sale. It was going to go away last Friday, but I completely forgot, and I thought it was this Friday. So you win. It's this Friday. So you can get this skin up until the end of tomorrow. And if you know me, I like to go to bed. So what usually happens is I wake up early Saturday and then I turn it off. So you actually have a couple more hours fudge room there. But we started with concept art from our illustrious waifu designer CSR all the way on the left side. And then we modeled the high poly, statically rendered whiz-bang version in Marmoset in the middle. And then we said, can we pull this off in Unreal 5? And so the image on the right is what you see coming out of Unreal 5. And to show you this real time, I'm actually going to play the video here. Hopefully the video plays. Or not. Actually helps if I turn the video source on. How about that? All right, so you can see here that the character is being rendered real-time in Unreal Engine 5. This is the Neko skin that is available. These are your pilot skins and your social skins for the hub. When you walk around the world in the main city, this is what you'll be sporting before you strap into an Omni frame. We have different sizes of mechs in the game. The light Omni frame will still reveal much of this costume, since it's more like power armor that straps to your legs and shoulder jetpacks on your back and things like that. In the medium frame, if you are in a open cockpit mode, you can see the upper half of your character piloting the frame, and the frame will mirror your motions. That's what we have right now. There's also an optional hard driver mode, which encloses the medium frame, for those of you who like a more armored appearance. And then when you're in the heavy frame, which is more like an Arbalest size frame from Full Metal Panic, the anime, or along those lines, that scale, or Titanfall 2, for those of you who prefer a gamer reference. But we were pretty impressed with the results of Unreal 5's renderer here. This is the Lumen renderer, which does global illumination and reflections. It's sort of like a faux ray tracing without having to use an RTX graphics card. And you'll notice there's a couple of bugs. There's some artifacts, like when they close up on her when there's a close up on her face, you could see that there's some little specks, some dots there from the sampling that have to be smoothed out. But you know, this is I want to emphasize, this is unreleased, right? Unreal 5 is not yet a complete engine, and they're still working on the renderer. And but the results are really fantastic. I think you'll agree that it came out really well. And so these skins are available through our subscription program, and they are peerless, which means that you have all sorts of customization options. You can swap not just the colors, but you can swap materials in the different areas. And you also have mesh options. For example, this Neko Peerless skin has things like swappable ears, swappable tail, different variations for that you can swap out to further make your particular Feli skin unique. Feli is our name for Neko, and have to thank our writer Jeff for coming up with that one. And they basically are a branch of humanity that went off into space, and they genetically adapted themselves for zero G. They grew up sort of like an asteroid belt surrounding an inhospitable planet. They didn't get to get one of the good planets, so they had to deal with what they had to deal with. And it turns out that if you have cat-like reflexes and the ability to make any direction up, you have an advantage. And so they basically genetically modified themselves with cat genes. Yes. We could have called them Elons, I guess. But Elons just didn't sound as good as Feli, so we went with Feli. And this one has a mechanical theme, but there will be natural themes as well. And we also have regular humans in the game. The Gate Striders are a coalition of humanity that founded a planet that are the foremost explorers of the galaxy. At least they were, until they ventured into a forbidden zone. And the people who said it was forbidden destroyed their homeworld, thus kicking off the start of the game, where the Gate Striders have to found a new home And they are basically canceled by the rest of the galaxy who don't want to deal with them because nobody wants their homeworld destroyed, right? These guys, the Gate Striders, they pushed a little too hard. They dug too deep, and they got themselves into trouble. So nobody wants to associate with them anymore. And so they found Em8er, and they settled on this planet. But it's a big problem because the planet is a gateway for a hostile race from another dimension or time, we're not sure, that has poured through of, obviously bad, evil guys that have giant kaiju as siege weapons, and they are about to conquer the galaxy, and you're going to start with this planet Em8er, and you have to stop them. So it's a sandbox MMO. It is not a theme park MMO. I want to point that out. Very different take. And because I come from a theme park background, having been the team lead for Vanilla WoW, and I wanted to do something very different. I wanted to do a sandbox MMO that didn't rely on heavy content updates, that really relied on player activity to drive what was going on. And I thought that this was achievable with a small indie team, especially with current tools being as good as they are. And so that's where we are today. And we have regular demos of the game that we release to backers. And we have streams where we show those off. And we are currently building a white box, which means there's no real graphics, a white box test level where we're trying out some new technologies in Unreal 5, which we just ported the engine to. All right, so this skin, again, is available only for another approximately 48 hours. You got to the end of Friday, beginning of Saturday to grab this skin while you can. It was supposed to have been gone last week, but I completely misread it, and I thought it was this week that the skin was going away, so you get the benefit for that. The hair is going to have physics attached to it. We're not going to hand animate it. So basically there's bones. For those of you who know 3D, we've got joints in the hair, and those will be simulated by physics as she moves. And that's the way the hair is going to work. We have a sort of stylized look to our characters. It's not fully stylized. It's about halfway between, I'd say. And that's kind of the look we're shooting for the game. What you're going to see here in Unreal 5 is going to be a little more photorealistic because we are using scanned real assets. But I want to emphasize this is just a test. We're just learning about Nanite, which is the new technology of Unreal 5, and how it may apply to our game. Copious Talks asks in Twitch, can you turn off body physics in the options? Yes, there are no body physics right now, but you will be able to turn them off. And there will be body physics. We do have waifus in the game, right? We don't shy away from that. And husbandos too. All right, so let's see. Let me stop the movie here. And what you see here is the Unreal 5 editor. And this is our test level, our loading level. You can see our Thumper mining mech here. This is what you call down to do mining in the world. There's a lot of crafting. Everything is crafted in the world. The base, again, this is more of a sandbox MMO. So you're crafting your mechs, you're crafting your Omniframes, which you pilot. But this thing is AI driven. It's kind of like your buddy. You ever watch Iron Giant? This is our Iron Giant. He's actually gonna have a personality. His faceplate's an emoticon faceplate, and he's going to have dialogue lines and things like that. And some personality is our goal for this guy. And when you want to mine in the world, you call, you have to go out and scan for resources, and you call one of these guys down, and he starts mining, and you have to protect him because there's waves of Seahus and enemies that attack you. But yeah, I like to think of him as our version of the Iron Giant. All right, but you've seen this before if you followed Em8er at all. In fact, you can call this mining mech down in the build. But what we're doing today is we're exploring Nanite. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the level here that we want, called White Box Thumper. White Box Thumper, because we call the mech a thumper, because the encounter was inspired by the movie and books Dune, where if you wanted to attract a spice worm, you put down a device called a thumper, and all the worms would come and sort of attack. And that's the idea here, is that when you mine and you put stuff down in the world, you will attract enemies. So this is what our mechs look like. I would say our interims mechs, because these are undergoing a redesign currently. This was our, I would say, our Mark II We have a Mark 1 that didn't go so well. The Mark 2 is something that I built, and the Mark 3 will be built by a professional artist. I am a game designer and a CEO. I am a okay artist. This was our Mark II character. We are currently on our Mark III. You can see that the Neko that we showed, the Feli, is a big improvement over this model in terms of bodaciousness, I would say, as well as some stylistic changes. And we wanted to match more of our concept artist CSR's artwork. All right, so we start off with white box terrain. White box terrain looks like this. Okay, this is basically 8 by 8 kilometers square. So this is really huge. And it's checkerboard pattern. Each of these checkers is 1 meter. And so you can see that this is pretty big territory. And it takes, somebody timed how long it takes to get from one end to the other. How much was that? Does anybody remember? I'm going to pop up Discord chat here. I know one of you timed it. I don't know if it was missed. About 12 minutes? 12 minutes gliding or 12 minutes running? What's a meter? I see we have an American here. It's all right. I'm American too. All right. It takes about 12 minutes to get from one end of this to the other. And we went with white box terrain because we are deliberately sort of like hiding the final graphics for Kickstarter, because we do plan to do a Kickstarter for this. We are sort of like wanting to make sure that you guys know these are temporary graphics, right? So this is a really huge map because we're also testing how big we can make the maps. But the actual world is going to be much bigger. So this is 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers, but we are actually doing planet scale. What planet scale means varies, right? You could be Venus, you could be Earth. And I'm going to be deliberately ambiguous because I don't know the answer yet. But the ideas for this sandbox world is that you start with a number of these zones that are being terraformed. So there's mirrors that warm up this area, and there will be sort of like a shielding wall. For those of you who know Firefall, you know it's called the melding, but we don't call it that. There is a terraforming shielding wall here that sort of keeps the rest of the planet's harsh atmosphere at bay while we carve out a human hospitable area here. And the idea is that players will expand through this planet, that they will push through the planet either through both through their actions up to a certain point, and then as we release the planet in more phases, so that you can gradually win more and more of the planet over. Winning the entire planet over is going to take a really long time. This is not this is an MMO. We're talking it's going to take years to capture the entire planet, and during the entire time, you're going to have to capture and hold it because the Tsihu will be trying to take it back from you. I'm going to be talking about some grand ideas here that you haven't heard about before. I'm going to do it, Ronan. I don't know if you've even heard this yet, but I think I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Do I need to like be prepared to tackle you, or should you just be off the chain?
I don't know. Let's ask Discord.
Can't ask them.
Release the hounds.
We already know what they're going to say. We already know.
Not yet. Wow. People want a surprise. Some people are just like, spill the beans. Release the hounds. All right.
Let's see how this goes.
well, the first thing I mentioned, I already kind of spilled the beans on, is planetary scale, right? And this is something that I wanted a world that really felt like a world. But what we're going to be doing is... do I say it? Do I say it, Harry?
Do I say what?
What I'm going to say about a unified planet?
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, I know. All right. Fine. Our goal is not to have servers. Our goal is one gigantic planet for everybody, arranged by ping. So people who are in Asia will be grouped towards one side of the planet. People in Europe will be grouped to another side of the planet. and we want it all to be interconnected. So, one giant planet. So, some space games, they do a whole universe. We actually want to do one giant planet, and the servers we distribute across, and the landmass is projected to be planetary scale. So this means we have to do procedural generation, right? Because obviously we can't handcraft an entire planet. But I think this fits a lot better with the sandbox thing. So imagine like Eve takes place in a single galaxy, Em8er takes place on a single unified planet. Okay? And then there's repercussions to that. And I'm not going to talk about those yet, because I already dropped the bomb here. That the way that the servers work is there are no servers. Rather no shards in that regard, right? That it's one single unified planet. And I know that's going to...
Well, realms is the World of Warcraft term.
Yeah, I don't talk about that game.
Because shards are like layers inside a single server, right? They sort of
Right.
have like 5 different ways of sort of interscaling the different servers, and it's like 5 different. One is a layer, one is a shard, one is a realm. The newest one, I don't know if they added another one, but yeah.
And the way that it works is, even though you have an entire planet, you're scattered, and the number of zones that are available at the beginning are they don't take up the entire surface. But when you travel between them, the idea is that you would have that sense of traveling instead of teleportation from one pocket to another. And yeah, you are transferring, servers on the back end when you do that. But to you, it should feel like a seamless experience. And that is, people have asked me a long time, what's the realm, to use Harry's and World of Warcraft's term, what's the realm structure going to be like? The idea is that there won't be realms. All right? Okay, so we have been experimenting with terrain, and this is going to be obviously a post-Kickstarter thing, but we started to build what are called assemblies, Nanite terrain systems that allow us to sort of like coat all this terrain, and you wouldn't actually use terrain in a pure Nanite system like Valley of the Ancients demo, but basically using meshes to create this. So, I mean, I can do it like this, but the easiest way to show you is jump into play. Any day now. Okay, so this is your Omni frame. Again, there's multiple frames you can pilot. There's a light frame, which is about the size of your pilot. This is the medium, and then there's a larger frame, which is kind of like a Titanfall 2 size thing. You can switch between first person, third person. You even have an over-the-shoulder view by pressing the Alt key. And we are doing a Nanite test. None of these are our assets. These are all Megascan assets. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of using Megascan in Unreal 5. You're going to see a lot of demos using Megascan because that's what you kind of have to do right now to do any of this, but there are some limitations. So if I go out here, you can see what Megascans kind of look like here. So you can see you have basically a very high level of detail on these rocks here and everything else. And these are scans from Iceland, which, is one location, and Valley of the Ancients used scans from Utah. But they also took some Icelandic scans and retextured them with the Utah diffuse maps, which is color information, to make them blend into it. So this is not meant to be playable or anything. This is just us experimenting with the process of how to lay out this sort of terrain. Okay, and you can see that these are just layers, right? And this is the way Valley of the Ancients is built, and yes, we're sinking to the ground because right now these have no collision. There's no collision right now. And you have to add simplified collision because you don't want to use complex collision for this and have every little single polygon here intersecting with your character, this capsule. So how are these built? These are built from what are called assemblies. So these are the assemblies, and we only built a couple of them. So you can see that, we started off with some flattish ones here. We created a super flat one here that we can sort of pepper around the place and then accent with them. And everything is sort of kit bash. These are actually made up of maybe a dozen different meshes all put together. Same thing with this corner cliff piece here. So this corner cliff piece here is just made up of meshes with tons and tons and tons of polygons. All right, so taking some questions here. Is this procedural? No, it is not. And that's one disadvantage of using this particular technique. Now, that's not a limitation of Nanite. Nanite's just the ability to draw tons and tons of polygons really, really fast. But the limitation of doing this procedurally is that it's actually pretty hard to get these plates to line up. You notice that even as I lay these down flat, you can see these sort of gaps that appear, like right here. Let me see if I can show you a more obvious one. I'm going to fall through here. No. All right, here. You can see gaps like this. And if you look at Unreal's own demo, they have gaps like this in the terrain in places too. We have a little more here because I figured out some ways that I can reduce that and optimize it to prevent it from happening. And that will involve the use of the new modeling tools in Unreal. So, but to do this procedurally would be kind of insane. I mean, this is made up of literally so many of these assemblies. Like if I go to the content browser up here, what's the best way to show you here? Here, I'll show you what this looks like. So if I can take like a piece like that, right? And I can show you that it's just like a little patch here, and then we re-embed the patch in the ground. There's some larger pieces here that you can build, right? So we've got these corner pieces here. All the way down to the actual individual itty-bitty. Let me see if I can find a really small one here. And then I made some bigger ones here. So these are designed to cover more area. But all these things are flat, right? Because it's a limitation of the scan. The scan doesn't do, anything under the ground, so you're going to have these flat plates. And if any of you have tried to get two flat plates to line up to make a curve, like this gentle slope on terrain, it's agony, okay? Here, I'll show you what I mean. So, I'll show you with a very simple representation here. So let's say you've got a plate here, and let's pick a slope. So you want to go maybe over yonder, right? And you want to go ahead and place this down. Again, this is our R&D that we're talking about. We're talking about how we're sort of, experimenting with this stuff and the limitation and advantages. The advantages is you can get insane detail, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, let's say you got that, right? And you're trying to create realistic terrain, so you actually want this to be a little curved, but you've got a flat plate. So you're like, well, I can sort of get it. Hang on, let me slow the mouse down. I can sort of get it in the right position. What if I rotate it like this, and then I sink it into the ground, and I rotate it a little more. Okay, I got that, right? I can't sink it too far down, because then I'll get this sort of like overlap. But maybe I can get it a little closer. Okay, so you got one plate, and you got some bald spots here, right? And you're like, well, I'm gonna have to do something about that a little bit later. But let's just try to get the curve. And so we're gonna try to get a curve here, and we are going to, let's see, go in that direction over there. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this plate over, right? And normally you would take another plate. You wouldn't necessarily do that. And now you're like, okay, I got this level, but this needs to be a little higher. Uh-oh. Oh, now I got a problem. It's like, oh, I'm a little higher, but, you know, okay. Now it sort of matches, but guess what? Now I got this ugly lip here. I don't know if you can see this very well. But I have this shelf here, right? And that's going to cause problems for collision and everything else. So it's kind of like, for those of you who know 3D modeling and familiar with retopology, if you're trying to take a sphere, right, a perfect sphere, and you're trying to take flat squares and paper mache them over the sphere, but the squares don't bend, right? They don't conform to the sphere. So now you've got gaps in interpenetration everywhere. And so, you know, let's say you've got this piece and now you've got a slope here, right? It's like, okay, now I've got, oh, how do I do this? This is a more complex slope. So what if I just, no, that's not going to work. What if I rotate it a little bit? Okay, that kind of matches. Now if I move it out, okay, that's kind of getting there. Okay, you know, there. Great. Okay, but now I got this. How do I fix that? Okay, let's slide it down. Maybe if I slide it down a little bit here, and then I sort of like angle it like that, maybe. Do this. And then, okay, this piece needs to come over. And, okay, now here's what I get. I get this little crisscross applesauce section here, which doesn't look very good, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to fix this. So I know what I'll do. I'll take this and I'll rotate it and I'll move this out. And then I'm gonna hide it with a rock. So I'm gonna grab a rock here. So maybe I'll go ahead and open up my content browser. Let's go to content browser 2. And we are going to look at some 3D assets here, and we could use a good rock. So maybe let's see, rock. And these are all scans. So these are what you're limited to what you can get from Quixel Mega Scans, which means basically every game has 2 tile sets to work with. You either have Iceland, or you have Utah, and you have a third one called Quarry. And that's about it. And then you're kind of limited to that until they scan more. And it's been a long time and they haven't scanned anymore. So, I mean, they're constantly adding to the library. But in terms of, like, large, complete, you know, sets of terrain, that's a little different. So I could drag a rock here, right? And even the rock shelves themselves, again, it's scanned from the ground. So you kind of have this. It's like, is this going to fit? And you're like, I don't know. That looks pretty janky. That looks pretty janky. Okay, that may not work. How about a round? So maybe I can find like a round boulder to stick in there, right? So maybe I can grab. I know I've got one somewhere here. Or maybe this little cliff face, right? Maybe I could try that. There we go. Okay, so now you can see, I can probably successfully hide the seam this way, right? Boom. Great. Now I've got a good transition. I've got a scree here, and the rock is hiding where these 2 plates intersect, and then I got that. Okay, you did it. How long did that take? Did anyone time me? 45 minutes. That's a meme here on the channel, folks. Okay, so after I built these assemblies, which are larger groups of these smaller rocks all mashed together, laying this out probably took a couple hours, because not to lay down the plates, but to figure out where all the cracks are, because they're also hard to see. Oh, look, I missed one right here. See, I spent 2 hours on this, and I missed that one right there. But then I got to go fix that. I got to go be like, okay, I have a crack here. Time to put down one of these rocks here, my Heidi rocks. And I'm going to go ahead and, you know, boom. Maybe a little bit higher. Nope, too high. It's popping up on that side. And then we got to go more this direction, more that direction. I sort of fixed it, but I got a tiny gap here. Okay, so maybe I gotta like do this and sink it a little deeper. And great. Ta-da! You guys helped me fix the seam line. That was maybe about, that wasn't too bad. It was a minute or two, right? But there's so many seams in this thing. And let's zoom out on this terrain. This 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer map. Zooming out, zooming out, zooming out. Okay, that's how much I've done. This is how much is left to do. Tell me your eyes aren't bleeding right now. So if we're going to do planetary scale, if we are going to create an entire planet, this can't be the solution. This can't be the workflow. And there are things you can do to make this much better. Using Unreal's modeling tools, I'll show you that in a second, what they do to make this problem go away. I can build bigger assemblies. You're like, what if you just build really big assemblies? Yeah, that's one thing you can do, because I can actually combine all of this into one assembly and treat it as one unit, and it would render really efficiently, and I can stamp it around. But it won't match the curvature of this terrain. Like this sort of like, this is what you get with procedural generation of height maps. This is not done in engine, by the way. This is done in a third-party world design program, then imported, but it's generated, right? This isn't hand sculpted, but you can cover a lot of terrain fast. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to use a blend of the two. The other thing that'll be hard to do are these mountains. Doing mountains, cliffs are one thing, right? You can do buttes and cliffs pretty effectively with this sort of stuff. Maybe if we were building an Anthem-style level, you could, but these sort of gentle mountains and things, that's something else entirely. So I think the solution for us, after playing with this, is going to be a combination of procedural-based terrain with hero meshes, you know, nanite meshes like this. And even then, we're doing an alien planet, so there's only so much of Utah I can use on an alien planet. There's only so much of Iceland I can use. We're going to have to be able to, we're going to have to sculpt our own super high poly pieces here, which is actually easier than making them low poly in a way. So I think what we're looking at is a combination of the two. Now, one thing is I did want to test, why are we doing this? We're not planning to ship this level in the demo, but I did want to get you guys a playable build where you can run around this just as a performance test, not as an art thing, not as a this is the way we're going to do the planet thing. I just want to see what's the performance of Unreal 5 when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of these meshes all over the screen, right? Because that's what they have in the Valley of the Ancients demo, and that's what Unreal 5 can do. It can render all of this stuff super duper quick, and it's no problem for the engine. It's kind of amazing, to tell you the truth. And I was talking to a guy who used to be on the Unity team, and he was like, yeah, I think they just scooped Unity. So I think Unity is going to have a hard time matching Unreal 5, Unreal 5's momentum. So, so I think what we're looking at is some form of procedural generation combined with hero nanite meshes in order to achieve a look. And that's going to take a little bit of R&D. And this has been a learning process, right? So, but we are going to release this as a test to make sure that it runs on your computers, right? Now, we are thinking that release, you know, I talked to NVIDIA and I said, what's the min-spec card for this stuff in a couple years, right? When the first iteration, the first phase of this game may ship, and they said 1060. And I looked at the Steam surveys, and it looks like 1060 is going to be a reasonable bottom end for this stuff. But I can't get a 1060. I mean, I on eBay, they're selling for double what they normally go for. But, you know, that's something I would try. And Giga says he's got 1060. So you're the perfect candidate to try this when we release this. And I think for sure it's going to be done next week, because this is, you know, we're just going to do this area. So around this hangar number 1, there's 3 hangars here. I'll go ahead and I'll detail out, you know, this whole plateau here, just the surrounding area, and that itself is going to be hundreds and hundreds of these little tiny meshes all put together. and then we're going to see what the performance is like. You as a community are going to be able to hop in here, run around on this, and see what it's like. And for those of you on cards that are generation prior to the 1060s, I'd be interested to see what that happens. What happens with that as well. One thing about Nanite is it is resolution dependent. If you are running 4K, you're going to have a performance degradation higher than you would with regular games because of the way the renderer works. For those of you running regular HD or 2K, you're going to experience significant improvement in performance. But the performance is actually really amazingly good. It's like, I don't know how this black magic works, but it does, and it's causing us to completely rethink how we approach making the assets for the game. And we think we can get some benefits because we're going to try to avoid doing what's called a low poly version and a bake. All games right now have a high poly version that bakes down into a lower poly version, and they use that to render in game. They use what's called normal maps to sort of like, give you the illusion of it being the high poly asset. And the normal maps are pretty convincing. Like, this is a low poly ship, but with the normal maps, it looks like it's decently high poly. The other thing is our game is a little more stylized. So the other question is, does this look really work? These scanned photorealistic assets, does that work with Em8er when, our characters, look more like this, right? When we have these more stylized characters. So that's part of the art direction that we're going to be getting into. But, this is the way our characters look. This is in-engine. This part isn't a test. This is actually our character. And, how's it going to look with, with terrain that's ridiculously detailed like this? So I think you're going to see us having to either hand sculpt or use certain programs like Houdini, which are called procedural modeling software. I mean, Houdini does a lot more than modeling. It does like everything. But it's procedurally based. It's node-based, and you can sort of generate this stuff, and you can control the level of stylistic stuff that you can get much better. And we can create assets that look insanely detailed and yet retain a sort of stylized look. So please bear with us. This is a process, like figuring out how we're going to do our procedural terrain, figuring out how we're going to art direct it so it looks like it fits with our characters. This is not a fast thing. We have to try different things. We have to learn these new tools, and this is part of the reason why I wasn't able to have the demo ready for you guys quite just yet, because we were dealing with this, and also I had some pretty interesting calls about some technology for kaiju potentially, and also some art calls as we work on other things. There's a lot more going on than just laying out terrain. But this test area, like I said, it'll be right around here, right around hangar number 1. We'll finish this up. And obviously, I haven't built that many assemblies. You'll notice that there's a lot of repetition here. Like here, here, here. It doesn't look that varied. Valley of the Ancients uses many more meshes to achieve their unique look. But every time we add one of these meshes, it comes with an 8K texture, and our hard drive space for the project gets eaten up tremendously. Just this area, adding this area alone with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assemblies added 15 gigabytes to the project. Now it bakes down. It bakes down. So the download size was, well, what was it, Harry? About 4 gigs?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes. It was 3.6 gigabytes.
Yep. So our project size is like 25 gigs. For us to check it out and download it and work with it, we're anywhere from 21 to 25 gigabytes of download. But for you guys to download it, it would only be 4 gigs. So this stuff does pack down impressively well. So that's something I want to point out, because when we showed the Valley of the Ancients demo, people were like, oh my gosh, I'm not, 25 gigs for just one level, how's that going to work? And no, that's not true. It actually, when you bake it out and you package it ready for distribution, they do some sort of magic. I don't know what it is, but it bakes down quite a bit. All right, so this is the Mega Labor Day weekend raffle extravaganza, and we are raffling away big packs for Em8er. So we are going to go hand this over to Ronan in our Discord channel. So you definitely want to pop over into Discord. Our moderators will spam the link, and you want to hop over in there because we will be raffling away a shifter pack this time, which is a $500 level pack for Ember. We are only doing big packs on stream today. So, Ronan, take it away, please.
All right. A big pack, a shifter pack. You'll want this. You'll need this. Come get it. All right. So, guys, if you're new over here, if you haven't done a raffle before, there's a very simple way this works. You're going to see a sentence written by our community coordinator. That's Faye. Underneath that, you'll see a sentence written by a little Ember bot. It's kind of a bot we have. And underneath that, you'll see a notepad with a little pencil on it emoji. So it's an emoji. It's a notepad with a pencil on it. You're going to click on that there emoji, and that's going to put you in the running. You want to click it once, not twice. If you click it twice, it will take you out of the running, so don't do that. You'll know that you're in because it will turn blue. And folks, while the raffle is running, please, please, please do not post anything. Let's give everybody a chance to see it. If it gets lost in the shuffle, that would be too bad. So we're about to do this pack for a shifter. We're also going to get a graphic up for the shifter while we're running it, so you'll get a chance to see it. Faye, do we have that graphic yet, or will it take a second?
We do, and I've already posted one in the main lobby media in case it scrolls away too fast.
Hey, all right. Okay, Faye, take it away.
All right. Are you guys ready? Wait, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that one's even bigger. That's for later. That's a big tease. That's for later. Y'all aren't quite there yet. You got to hold on with us a bit longer.
Oops. Did I do that? There's the right one. Okay, you guys ready? Is everybody in here? It looks like we've had a couple people join. We'll give you all a few seconds to get settled in here. Make sure you can hear us on Twitch if you're here in the Discord, because you'll need to be in the Discord for the raffle. Okay, is everybody ready? On your marks. Get set. Click.
There it is. Please remember, do not post while the raffle is up and running. Give it just its 30 seconds to run through completely.
My goodness, 173 and climbing.
Nice.
Ooh.
We are
Ooh.
doing mega raffles Labor Day weekend in our Discord server, so hop on over. I'll put up chat right here. This is where the raffles happen. We are giving away big packs here on Labor Day weekend. Backer packs for the game that come with lots of goodies. So hop on in there. We'll be doing more raffles.
And the winner is McMillan. Congratulations, McMillan. You are the winner of a shifter pack. Yeah.
Congratulations, McMillan.
What you're going to want to do is send me a private message right away. Let me know that you won this here shifter pack. And of course, give me your Ember ID that you use on myember.com. Now, Grums, before I say back to you, I want to point out that we had a very specific question earlier. The question is, this sounds so much harder and more complicated than just using a regular texture on a big field. So what are the advantages, the reasons to go with something like this?
I think the reason to go with something like this is it depends on the game. If you're doing let's say a traditional level-based shooter, you can, and especially AAA games, which are very focused on graphics, right? Let's say that AAA games are really more like playable movies now, and they have shorter. They tend to have shorter gameplay sessions for the single-player games, right? Or fewer maps for the multiplayer games. But they're going to be able to offer an incredible level of fidelity and detail here that you just have has not been possible before. I mean, this is actually a quantum leap forwards in the amount of detail you can have. But for certain types of games, like for our game, it may not be applicable because we have the need to generate huge amounts of terrain. And while the Valley of the Ancients demo is big, it's not planet-sized, right? Like, if you were to try to do an entire planet with this particular approach, it may be very difficult. That's not to say that you couldn't come up with some procedural way to do it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the stream. But there's going to be additional R&D, and you're going to be able to basically procedurally generate or distort these meshes and scans into any shape that you want, because you can actually do it with the modeling tools right now in Unreal, which is what I wanted to show you next up, is that I can actually take this terrain and the stuff that, we're dealing with these sort of flat plates right now, but let's say you want a hill or you want some curved options, some curved building pieces. You can actually go in, and Unreal 5 now has modeling tools built into the engine that you can actually sit here and I can make this into a hill, right? I can actually deform this. And the other thing I can do is I can round these edges down so that when I push them into terrain and butt them next to each other, I don't get as many cracks. Now, that's a manual process, but who's to say that there can't be eventually procedural tools made that automatically fit these plates together in some sort of pattern, right? Now, that's R&D that's beyond our little indie team. So what we're looking at doing is taking a combination of traditional procedurally generated terrain and some hero meshes that we create. But Nanite gives you another advantage that I think benefits indie teams and smaller teams that you may not really be aware of, that you may not be thinking of, right? And what that is the saving of time. For example, if we were to create a rock like this using traditional methods before Unreal 5, we would create this high poly sculpt, or we would take a scan like this either from Quixel Mega Scans, or we would hand sculpt it in ZBrush, and it would be like 3 or 4 million polygons. And then you're like, what? Because you can't stick a 3 or 4 million polygon asset into a game. So what game engines do and what game artists do is they make a low poly version, something that's only like 8,000 or 5,000 or 2,000 polygons for their 3 million polygon mesh. And then what they do is they bake it down. What you see in games right now is actually low poly meshes compared to what they were originally made at, right? They're actually low poly, but they don't look low poly because they project a high poly image onto it. I'm simplifying the language a lot, but it's a way of transferring high poly information to low poly lighting information so that it reacts to light and looks like a high polygon asset. And that's the way you traditionally do it. But that takes time. It takes time to take a high poly asset because you got to build it twice. You got to build the high poly asset, and then you have to build the optimized low poly asset, and then you got to do that transfer of information, which they call baking, to bake what's called a normal map that will trick the light into making it look like a high poly object. So it actually in some cases takes as much time or longer to build the low poly asset and to get a good clean bake out of it with no errors, because it's a very finicky process, right? There's all these like tricks and things you got to do because it's an approximation. There's all these errors that can creep up. And so you can spend a lot of time trying to bake something. God forbid, when I was first learning normal mapping, it took me like a week to understand why I was getting these bake errors and how to get around them and all these sort of tips and tricks. And even after you know all of that, we have very experienced low poly modelers and bakers on our team. We're constantly finding errors that we have to go back and correct. So what if you could just export the high poly mesh from ZBrush straight into the game engine? That would save you half the time. And if it renders just about as fast, why not do it that way? And so that's what we're looking at using Nanite for, right? Like this terrain system, you know, maybe someone's going to figure it out. Some AAA team is going to have a procedural way to generate an entire open world with this technique. But we're a little indie team. Maybe we stick with procedural generation and some hero meshes that are Nanite because it saves time. Because we can take the high poly sculpt and just bring it over straight into the game versus having to do a low poly unwrap and everything else that goes along with that. Well, we still have to do the unwrap in most cases. That's not important. It's just know that if we can stick with the high poly asset and not have to build another low poly asset and do a whole bake process, we could potentially save half the time it takes to create an object in the game. Because even regular games, they're still doing the high poly sculpt. They just have this additional step where they can't run it in an engine because no engine can handle it before Unreal 5, that they have to make a low poly object. Okay, any questions on that? I know that was a lot, and I kind of repeated myself because I was trying to like find the right words to explain it. But does that answer the question?
I mean, it sounded like you were saying that ultimately this can look good and actually be faster.
It can be faster production-wise and look good because we are making, every time you make an asset, you are making it at this level of detail. Okay, what you're seeing in games, it actually, you know, is actually a low poly version of a high poly asset that gets created, but we are making it high poly to begin with. Even if we were doing this in a regular engine, we'd still be making the high poly. Normally for low poly, we hand it off to another artist to do it. So, you know, the high poly sculptor can move on to the next task. And we're doing a lot of that right now, but we're also doing, Unreal 5 sort of like has given us pause because it's like, okay, it's worth exploring this technology. It's for real. It's actually working. It's not slowing the game down. You guys will be the judge of that because we're going to release a test map. You know, it's not for graphic fidelity or anything. We're just going to stick more and more of these meshes in, and you're going to be able to run that and tell us, you know, do you notice any difference between that and the last build we shipped you of the game? All right, so the other thing that I wanted to do here was I want to do another raffle. I want to do a catch-up pack and talk about the skins because a lot of people didn't catch the information on how the rarities work and how the mesh variants work and things like this. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and I wanted to do a catch-up pack, which is a collection of all the skins we've done so far for our monthly patron program. So I'm going to put up the Neko video again because we finally have it in game. So this is our stylized UE5 type of look, and this skin is currently available. This was part of our monthly patron subscription program, which gets you access to rare skins or above on a monthly basis for just $7.95 a month. And this is a skin for your pilot character, and we finally got it working in Unreal 5. No pre-renders, no. This is all real time, and we're using the Lumen lighting engine for this in Unreal 5, which is a new lighting system that they have that is basically a software version of ray tracing. But so you can get these skins, and for the monthly program, you get access to earlier builds of the game. You get access to chapters of the book as we write them, to the tabletop, which we will eventually get back to because we're still drafting the rules. You'll get access to the tabletop rules for the Em8er tabletop role playing game, and you are. But most people do it for the skins. The skins are the driving factor. That's what everybody wants for their pilots. And the skins come in different rarities. Okay, you've got, and they're kind of arranged like WoW rares. You've got rare, you've got epic, you've got legendary, and you have even unique. The backer packs have unique skins like Founder G Suit V2 that you get by becoming a newcomer is a unique skin. It will never appear again, basically. But for the subscription program, they're basically rare or above. And rare means that they appear a certain number of times per year, and I think rare is 4 times a year that they appear, and then there's epic, which is twice a year, and then there's legendary, which is a once a year type of skin. The Neko skin that you're looking at is it's an epic. Is it an epic or legendary? I forget. Let's take a quick look at that. Can someone confirm that for me? I think it's an epic. I think it's a twice a year skin. But it'll be listed on the store. So what does that mean? That means the skins are vaulted. They're only available for a limited time, both in store and in game. Oh, it's legendary. Okay, so it's once a year. The Neko is a once a year skin. So what legendary? So they're in these rarities, and what do the rarities mean? Well, we want to make sure that you can actually earn these skins in the game as well. We don't want to just make them store exclusive, but they will be vaulted. So this skin will only be available to craft once per year in the game, and you can go out and you can gather the materials for it by doing the thumper encounters and everything else. And other skins might be twice a year that that there's a chance to unlock them in the game, and then other ones are 4 times a year. And because we don't do gacha, right? We don't do random rolls or anything like this. Yes, there will be an engineer in Em8er. There is actually an engineer skin that you can win today in the catch-up pack. So it's an homage to Firefall. And so not only the skins have rarities, and then they appear in the store with that rarity as well. So the skins rotate through. But they also have grades of customization, starting with the core. What the core is a single color variant. So it'd be like what you see is what you get. This is the color it comes in. This is the skin. Sort of like a Fortnite skin, right? And those are like, I want to say they're like, I forget what the price is. They're like 10 or 12 bucks. I think they're 12 bucks. Something like that. Or 15. I can't remember. We sent out an email with the planned pricing. I apologize, don't have it off the tip of my tongue. 10 to 20. Something like that. Yeah. And you just get the single color, and you don't have any real customization options for it until you get to the artisan skin, which is the next level above that. Artisan skin, that grade of skin lets you change, has a little more detail on the skin, and lets you change the actual colors of the different parts of the suit that she's wearing, and the ears and things like that. And then above that, you have what's called Peerless grade. And Peerless grade lets you not only change the colors, but it lets you change the materials that are on the suit. So you could potentially make metallic areas, for example, right? And then not only that, but the Peerless grade allows you to change mesh options. So for here on the Neko skin, you'll be able to have maybe 2 or 3 variants of ears and 2 or 3 variants of tail, and along with all the material and color change options on it. So those are the 3 grades of customization. So how do they work? They work, let's say in-game, when you first unlock the skin, you're going to start with the core grade, right? And when you have the core grade, you can, even if the skin gets vaulted, so let's say you made it just by the deadline before the skin gets vaulted in the game, and you unlocked the core Felly skin. Well, at any time, you can grind for the mats. You can go out and thump for resources and craft that up to an artisan level and unlock more customization for the skin. And then if you wanted to, you could go on another crafting journey and unlock the Peerless grade of that skin, all in-game, without having to spend a dime, okay? But if you would like to go to the store or join our monthly patron program, you automatically get the max customization version. You automatically get the Peerless grade version of the pilot skin. So, and if you're part of the subscription program, you get it for a deal. You get it for $7.95 versus if you were to buy such a skin in store, which is more customization than any skin that I know of in a game that's sold to you. That's $34.95, right? And it's available till Friday in our store. But if you were a sub member, you were actually getting that for $7.95. And that's the same thing with the current skin. The current skin, if someone has an image of that, they could put up in Discord, please. Then, that is a peerless grade skin. There will be material options, there will be color options, and there will be mesh options to do that. We have kind of an armored paladin type of pilot skin for this month. And you get that for $7.95. And these prices won't last. The subscription prices are actually going to be broken, or they're actually going to go up and be broken into tiers after Kickstarter, which will give you access to different things. But this price will be grandfathered. So anyone who subscribes now and collects these skins now, they get to lock in that $7.90 price forever. And we've been talking about, unfortunately, the world's going through inflation right now, and our costs are rising too. And it's kind of insane here in the United States. The price of pork is up 40%. Just try to buy a car. There's no supply whatsoever. Used car prices are through the roof. It's really insane. So I've been warning people for a while that price increases are coming, and so I don't want to do it, but it's starting to get to the point where we have to reflect the reality of what's happening around the world, especially here in the United States. And so those prices will go up. But the monthly patron is staying. That's not going up. That's always going to be $7.95 for if you get it before Kickstarter. After Kickstarter, we're introducing multiple tiers that actually relate a little bit to what I talked about the game. And there are some additional goodies that come with that, but you can lock in that price right now. Okay, so like I said, if you missed the chance to get the Felly skin at $7.95, and I think we ran a $1 sale on this, so you actually got it for $1, right? Am I right? Was the Felly skin $1? I think we did a subscription drive for it. Yeah. Okay. Scoop says he got it for $1. Yeah. So this was actually $1. But if you miss that chance, and you don't want to miss the chance in the future, because you actually get it today till Friday for $34.95 in the store, and moderators can post that link up into chat as well for people who are interested. So that explains how the system works, and it also explains how you can upgrade it. So the customization ability of your suit goes up, and these prices reflect what's I think are still a bargain, even at $34.95. If you were to go into Valorant and try to get like one full set of stuff, you're looking at what, $100, right? To get the complete skin outfit that you want for your character. We're not going to do that, but this is the way we pay for the service. This is the way we pay for the operation of an MMO, which is not free. It's not free to have servers running that have hundreds of players running around, and we need to have a business model that allows for that. It's completely optional though. Em8er is a buy once, play forever for free if you like, with continuous crowdsourcing model on a feature by feature DLC method. And I'll talk a little bit more in another stream. I just wanted to lay the groundwork for the skin system, to reiterate how it works. And I want to give away 3 catch-up packs. We're doing a big stream. This is our Labor Day stream. So this is your chance not only to get the Felly skin, but every other skin that we have either concepted or modeled and released on the monthly patron program. And this is our big Labor Day event. So please, Ronan, let's raffle away 3 catch-up packs.
All right, y'all. So for those who don't know, every month you can get a skin if you're one of the Em8er patrons. And so when we do a catch-up pack, what that does, it gives you the ability, well, if you win, to get pretty much all the skins up until the latest one. So this would be your opportunity to get all the stuff that you want and may have missed when it comes to the skins. As customary, let's see some tomatoes up in here. Let's see some ketchup. Let's see some, be crazy. What other kind of vegetables do you have? Somebody brought bacon. It's not a vegetable. Or did my mother lie to me all those years? All right, we're going to go ahead and do this here catch-up pack. And once again, to make sure, because there might be some new people in here, when the raffle runs, you're going to see a sentence from our community coordinator. That's Faye. Underneath that, you'll see a sentence from the Em8er bot. And underneath that, you'll see an emoji. It's a notepad with a pencil on it. You're going to click on that. It'll turn blue, letting you know that you're in the running. So do not miss it. You got to get it. Okay? Faye, it's all you.
All right, and for those of you that aren't sure, you can check Man Lobby Media. I've posted a screenshot of what it looks like so that you know which emoji to click on for sure. Are you all ready to get a catch-up pack? Hello, Drostin. Come on, join the party.
And definitely stick around because later in the stream we are doing our biggest pack, the Arc Leech pack, which is a $1,500 value. So you definitely want to hang out for that. And we'll be doing a little more Unreal 5 tool set. We're going to show you the modeling tool set right after these raffles for the catch-up packs.
Oh, you know what? Ronan, we forgot to show them all the skins.
We forgot to show them all the skins. Well, then we need to do that. Do we have a graphic?
We do. Feast your eyes on all these skins in the catch-up pack. And of course, the only one that's not included is this month's skin, which is the Adorasa skin.
It is customary that people choose a favorite skin. You don't have to say it out loud, but it's just good to have one.
I'll post that again over in Main Lobby Media so everybody can stare at it while the contest is going. All right, are you guys ready to try and get one? You have 3 chances. The Valkyrie is a one signing up for free bonus. You sign up for an Em8er account, you get the Valkyrie skin as a thank you for signing up. All right, let's go. On your marks, get your mouse ready. Go. Make sure you're only clicking on that pencil and paper emoji. Everyone else is trolling you. Only 171? Only 171 people want a catch-up skin?
Gills, you get a ketchup pack. All right. You know what, Faye? I think we only have 171 because I think there's a few people in here who already have a ketchup pack. And they're all caught up.
They must be. All right, are we ready for number 2? On your marks, get set, click. Congrats, Katsuragi. I think that's how you say the name. Are we ready for number 3? Are you sure? Now, only click the pencil emoji right under EmberBot. On your mark. Get set. Click. Congrats, GigaBear.
Congrats, Giga. All right, Grumps, that was number 3. We're going back to you. Everybody, send me a private message. Let me know that you want a catch-up pack and give me your Ember ID that you used on myember.com.
So, a couple people were asking. Wait, sound check. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure.
Yes.
All right. Some people were asking, "Hey, nice terrain. 2 hours. What did I miss?" You're not 2 hours late. You're only we're only an hour into the stream. But this has been our experimentation with Nanite, and I was explaining some of the limitations of Nanite. Right now, you unless you have your own photo scanning drones and things, you're not going to be able to create unique tile sets, and you're limited to what you can scan in the real world. So most people are using scans from Quixel Megascans, which has been purchased by Epic. And so you've got this tile set, which is Iceland. You've got another tile set called Utah and one called Quarry. And basically all the demos that you see in YouTube and things like that are made from these scans. Because we're doing an alien planet, we have to come up with our own way of generating this stuff. And since we can't go scan an alien planet, we are likely going to be looking at hand sculpting hero pieces that are unique and alien looking, or using procedural programs like Substance Designer combined with Houdini, which are procedural texturers and modelers, to come up with some unique looking assets. Then we also talked about how difficult it is to achieve organic slope terrain without cracks using this method, because these are made up of pie plates. Just, look at this individual disc right here and right here, which are combined into larger assemblies and then sort of pasted out. That can work for, a lot of games, single player games, even some open world games. This is a 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer map, and you can see that it's quite arduous just to do this little area right here. So let me get some altitude here. And someone's going to come up with a procedural way to do this, but it's going to be a AAA studio or somebody who's really devoted to terrain systems, probably not us. So we're looking at a combination of doing this Nanite terrain with traditional procedural methods of doing it. Because, and the big reveal today is that we're going to do a planetary scale game map, and there's not going to be separate shards for the world. That the entire game of Ember is going to take place on one gigantic planet arranged by ping. And so, Asia will be clustered in one area, North America will be clustered in another, and things like that. And you will be able, and there will be unlocked playable areas, the terraformed areas, right, that the players have terraformed and unlocked in the world and that are currently available. And then the area in between is going to be procedurally generated, and you can fly from one area to another in these drop ships. And the aim for that is to be continuous, right? So we want that sense of world. I think that's really important in a modern MMO, and we are much more of a sandbox MMO than a theme park MMO. So that was the big reveal, and we were talking about the difficulty of doing as an indie company. I'm not saying that it's impossible, right? But as an indie company, the feasibility of doing this over very large areas is something that's very much in doubt for our small team right now. So we're thinking a combination of traditional procedural-based landscape, which is what this is out here, combined with hero meshes that we will have to sculpt from scratch for our alien source type of planet. You could crowdsource it maybe, but remember, it would take a lot of people. When I say planetary scale, I mean it. We're talking about, I think star system, the planets are 1/8 the size of the heavenly bodies would be. We're talking about really large playable areas here. Even if you crowdsource that would be a tremendous amount of work. And then how do you quality control it? Who's going to look for every single crack in the terrain? Now I'm going to show you a way you can minimize these cracks, and when we ship this level to you next week, I'm going to replace these assemblies with a modified version. Because we start with these, right? We start with these scans that we've kit bashed together, and these are very simple, right? We're not going for artistic integrity here. We're just trying to do a technology test to see how fast this runs on your guys' machines next week. So this is actually made up of maybe, I would say, a dozen or so meshes that are put together. And you can see that they have these flat edges, which are very hard to butt up against each other. So if I were to take this pie plate and that pie plate and try to merge them together at an angle, you'd get interpenetration and all sorts of ugly artifacts. But there's a way you can minimize that. Unreal 5 has modeling tools built in that we've explored for the first time. Okay, there's some questions here. TwitchBrains ask, how does the new UE5 tech work with LOD meshes? If you use the sculpts in game, does it render them similarly to LODs? Actually, the interesting thing about Nanite, which are these super high polygon meshes that render at warp speed in Unreal 5, is that they are inherently LOD based. There is no concept of LOD because they are always LOD, continuously. They are actually 2D sort of representations of polygons in some sort of way that conveys 3D information that are stored as MIP map levels. So they actually MIP down. And what that means is that the resolution of the 2D data representation automatically gets down resolutioned in the distance. And then based on that, that I'm calling it 2D, but it really carries 3D information. They're called nanite clusters, right? Based off these nanite clusters, they render the polygons to fill that at the appropriate screen resolution. So it's continuous LOD. So yeah, this stuff is LODing, but it's doing it absolutely smoothly and seamlessly, and you don't have to do hand-generated LODs or anything like that. It just works. And so I'm really impressed with Nanite, by the way. But what's even cooler is that they've built in a full 3D modeling package into Unreal. So I'm going to show you what that's like in a little bit here. So let's see. So let's say I wanted to take this pie plate, right, and I want to modify it. So let me find out where it is. So it creates a level asset that I can open up here. Yeah, you can try this yourself. You can download Unreal Engine 5, and Quixel Megascans now comes free with your Unreal account. So Epic does a lot for game development. I mean, you can totally do what we're doing here and play around with this yourself. Okay, there's no lights in this scene, so I'm just going to make it unlit. So this is the mesh that I'm talking about, and you can see that it's made up of, all of this stuff. So I've got tons of these little meshes all meshed together. And the problem I was having is that these edges, since they're kind of flattish, they don't butt up against other plates very well. But, or if I say I wanted to make a hill, it's flat. How do I make a hill out of this? There's only so many scanned resources out there in Quixel Megascans. So, but Unreal has built a modeler in here, and you activate this by going to plugins. For those of you who are curious, you go into plugin settings, and you want to search for modeler, modeling tools, editor mode, and you want to make sure that you enable that. It doesn't come enabled, it's a beta feature, and so that's how you turn it on. I'm looking at questions here in Discord here. Give me a second. I want to make sure I answer your questions. Black Ratchet asks, aren't we getting our plate a bit full? Black Ratchet, I'm actually interested in Unreal Engine 5 because of the time it will save us. Because I explained this a little earlier in the stream, I don't know if you're around, that we have to build high poly assets anyways. Like when we build our Omni frames and when we build our creatures and our characters, there are already millions of polygons. There are 3 million polygons, 5 million polygons. And what we have to do to get them to work in the old engine in Unreal 4 is we would have to make the model all over again in low poly. And then we got to bake the high poly information to the low poly. And that took as much time as it did to create the high poly asset in the first place. So if we can use Nanite, then, and so far our tests for our, I don't want to say what we're working on, but our tests have shown that we can potentially save half the time if we go with Nanite for creating the art assets, because we're already creating the high poly anyways. Oh, maybe it's a pun because we're talking about pie plates and things like that. Okay, sorry. If it was a pun, then I totally missed the reference. Okay, so so I was talking about how you now have modeling tools in Unreal. So you pop this icon open, and for those of you who are, I know we've got artists here in the stream. You guys, 3D modelers, you guys are going to geek out over this. All right, because now these tools are built right into it. Someone's asking if there will be a male Felly. Yes, but not right now. Just like Final Fantasy 14, the men will have to wait their turn on a Felly skin.
Would that be a fella?
Oh, I guess it is now, Ronan. A Felly fella. Okay, so we've got these tools here. And you can create boxes and spheres and all this sort of stuff, and but that's not the part I'm interested in. The part I'm interested in is how do I round these edges off? Because if I round the edges off, I'm going to get a lot better abutment between plates. So they actually
a what?
Abutment. Abutment.
All right.
Yeah. And for some reason, my tools aren't available. Where's the tools? Here we go. So. The tool I'm looking for are these sculpting tools, vertex sculpting, right? Now, this is probably going to bring my computer down to a crawl. Let's see. So I'm activating the vertex tool, and this is, I was saying earlier in Chief Chat, I need a faster PC because just switching to this vertex mode takes a while. I mean, these are nanite meshes, obviously, but but I can sit here and now I've got a brush, and this is exciting for anyone who uses ZBrush. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got millions of polys, and what can I do here? Well, I can start sculpting, and I can create, variations of terrain. Right now, Toshi's losing his shit because I told him about this stuff, and he was so excited. Is he here on stream today? Toshi, you around? All right, unfortunately, I can only seem to deform one at a time here. So I'm going to just, let's see, I'm going to reduce the strength. And I just want to hit that edge and kind of bend it down. Can I bend it down? Wait, does it bend up? It bends up. Okay. If I hold shift, it should bend down, or do I hold control? Okay, so if I do that, and this is obviously a ham-fisted job, right? But I can sort of like round these corners. So maybe I can go... oops. And I can get some variation that way. Or maybe I want to create a hill. Can I grab multiple of these and start editing them? Is that going to like completely kill it? Yeah, it doesn't look like it lets me sculpt that. So I'm going to have to go... I'm going to have to destroy them ship to ship. Let's see. I am no artist, guys. Sorry. And I'm brand new to this tool, too. All right, so that's my... it's more alien, at least. Let's undo this travesty. All right, but I managed to pull that edge down. So I think I could go, tile by tile and kind of round about. Maybe there's another operation here I can do. Like if I don't select anything, and Let's see if I can group select all this stuff. Oh, I can. Okay. But my deforming tool is not active. But I have some other tools. I have VoxWrap. VoxWrap is a way that they're creating the collision meshes for this. So this is kind of interesting. It's really slow though. So let me see what happens. So I'm going to hit VoxWrap and I'm going to wait. And what VoxWrap does is, because you don't want to have a collision mesh that's as detailed as a nanite mesh, right? So, oh, I know what I could do. I could have done a lattice transformation on it. There's a way you can put a box around it and then drag stuff down, and then it'll deform the whole terrain. But let's try a VoxWrap. So a VoxWrap is going to wrap everything into voxels into a volume, and then that will create, that's what they're using to create simplified collision meshes for these pie plates, these assemblies that are in the game. But it's very, very slow. I'm still waiting. Okay, it says accept or cancel. Wait. Oh, you know what? I activated VoxWrap while Sculpt was running. Bad things could happen. This is an unreleased version of Unreal after all. It's not an official release, it's a preview.
There's a question of in chat of how to the world server, how technically feasible it is.
Well, that's what we're going to be doing R&D on. Obviously, it's stuff that has been done before. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot. One thing is that we've been talking about making it a sparse array of servers, right? So only like these simulated areas get dedicated servers, and everything else in between gets like one server because there's very few players in them. But how we compartmentalize that and how we do transitions between server boundaries, I mean, we've done it as early as WoW, right? And WoW has 4 servers, four threads running one continent, and they talk to each other, and the boundaries for that dynamically shift. And then you have EVE Online, which has a different approach. And then you have Star Citizen, which has their server meshing approach, which they've yet to implement. But that is something that's post Kickstarter. But that is our goal, and I can't tell you what the answer is because Harry and I are still talking about it. But it's something that I've had personal experience with dealing with before. There's people I know that I can talk to about this stuff. It is being done in games right now, and so that is our goal for Kickstarter, is to offer that. All right, so this has generated a voxel envelope for it, and I can't hit accept yet. And you can't see it yet. I gotta for some reason, I gotta hop around here. Or I have to wait for it to generate. So it's actually not done yet. It hasn't generated the preview for this yet. I believe it's running in the background, and I gotta wait for that to happen. Or maybe
So I'm guessing you can't edit these like per instance. You can only edit all of the occurrences of this at once, but not like when it's actually in the world.
I actually, the voxels, you mean?
Well, if you wanted to deform it, if you wanted to use the modeling tool to fix a hole that's specific in a specific area, right?
Yep.
I'm guessing you wouldn't be able to modify that particular instance of mega assembly.
You can either modify it particularly in the in the level itself, just for that instance packed level, or I could come in here and edit it here, and it would reflect everywhere else in the level. And if I wanted to edit it in the game world, I can actually hit update on it, modify, and then update, and it will check it into this level and propagate everywhere in the level. So that all does work currently in Unreal Engine 5. All right, so I want to show you, let's see. So I'm waiting for this to actually show something. I did this before with another set of assets, and I had to flick around here until it would actually show me the result and then preview it. So if I can either wait for it to finish generating, Maybe it, you know, one thing I want to see is like, what's it actually doing here, right? So we're using 25 gigs of memory. We're at 19% CPU, and GPU's not hit at all. And I don't think this is threaded.
Yeah, it's just running one thread.
Mm-hmm. So, Baron of Hell, I mean, one thing we will have to do is we even if we have this whole planetary scale, there's a case where players could all go to the same area, right? And when we do that, I'm actually thinking about using phasing to deal with that. The way that they did phasing on the Legion invasions, I thought worked very well for World of Warcraft. And that's something that we've been talking about how to handle it when there's a lot of people in an area.
Yeah, the problem you have with scaling such a solution is that you're still working with Unreal Engine itself, right? Yeah, it's not like in the case of World of Warcraft, you sort of have the very fine sort of control over the network protocol and the networking things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we ideally have to work, like ideally you would work at the level of you have one process of the server, right? And you're trying to parallelize that. You just want that one exe, like one process in memory running. And ideally, uh, that's where you leave most of the interaction with the Unreal modification of Unreal Engine specifically. You build something above it, something like a load balancer uh, that works with the Unreal Engine's networking protocol, so that you have basically three-dimensional lattice of servers. So let's say if you imagine a grid, if you imagine like that world of 8 by 8 kilometers, let's just say that's going to run on one server, and if you move beyond it, beyond those 8 kilometers, you seamlessly jump over to a different server without you really seeing. There will be like a handover happening, right? And you go, up, down, left, right. That's two dimensions. The third dimension is the more people let's say you have like 500 people in a single, that one 8 by 8 kilometer sort of area, that one domain of the server, where you're finding a Tsihu, or I mean a kaiju, right? uh, what you can do, or what the idea is that you spin up dynamically, you launch multiple instances of the server. Each server is obviously dedicated to a specific coordinate, but also you can spin up more servers for that one box, to that one tile, and basically load balance people onto different servers. So have server one handle first 100 people, have server two handle the next 200 people, right? And there is going to be some characters, some actors that are going to be shared in between, right? There's going to be another server that's only going to handle AI, right? Like the big Titan is going to be running on a single server, but his data is going to be replicated to all the other servers running on a given grid tile. And you can do that fairly easily with the replication graph thing, wherein you manage what you can actually see as a player, what the server starts telling you exists. And it is a bit of a elbow grease to the Unreal Engine's protocol, and working with fairly low level uh, networking handlers in Unreal Engine, but it's doable, I think.
Harry, this is interesting. So we've got all the CPUs graphed now as we're trying to voxel wrap this pie plate. And it didn't take this long when I was doing the Utah assets. So, but you can see it's pegging quite a few threads right now. And yeah, the disk is screaming too. The SSD
Oh
is
yeah,
absolutely hammered.
I think it's memory. I think what you're doing is click the memory. I think you're paging everything. Click,
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was telling people on stream it might be time for that to run Unreal 5 doesn't take a lot
Yeah,
of
you're running
hardware.
120 gigabytes, dude. You're running 4 times your memory capacity.
So that's what it is. All right. I was telling people it's like it might be time to bug AMD for another PC because developing an Unreal 5 is significantly more taxing than an Unreal 4. Not playing it, right? Like when you by the time you bake this out and you package it up, it runs well. But developing in it, I'm just trying to do a collision mesh for this pipe plate right now, and I'm paging out the hard drive. I've maxed my memory. CPUs are also they're going, but they're starved, right? Because of this. This is the main bottleneck. So right now it wants to use 122 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
So
116 currently.
At the very least, I think the first thing I should try is to increase the RAM on this machine. And if that doesn't work, then and then see where else it bottlenecks, right?
Well, you either you plug in 128 gigabytes or you go like full server and you put in 1 terabyte or something like that. I'm not sure if that's even supported on desktop. Maybe AMD support them. AMD does a lot of things that Intel doesn't. Or you just get a very large.
Well, I would go double. If it's consuming 125 now, someone in chat said, yeah, Thanik said you should go 256. Yeah, my general rule is if I'm hitting 125 to just go ahead and double it. So, which is also kind of like...
I'm not sure if you... I think you would need 8 memory slots for that.
Oh, because of the way it divides out?
Yeah, I think they don't really make more than like 32 gigabytes DDR4 modules. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's an increase, but I think like 32 is about the limit of what you can put on one stick. Maybe 64. I'm not sure.
Well, it looks like I'm not going to be able to show the voxel wrap on stream here because it's just taking way too long. So I want to cancel that out.
Yeah, the task manager says you have 4 slots. So, the best you could do is probably 128 if 32 is the limit. If you can find like 64 gigabyte sticks, yeah, you can go to 256 gigabytes.
Well, let's ask chat. Do you guys know of any way I can get past 128 gigs of RAM on this machine?
Well, you buy a very expensive motherboard that has 8 slots.
That's not helping, Harry.
Well, if you go into these lengths, you just have to start throwing more money at it. Like nothing else. Nothing else is gonna help you.
Okay,
Probably
chat wants to know if our RAM utilization went down.
Yeah, Unreal Engine is not really in a habit of freeing the memory.
It's not letting go. Yeah, it's still up there.
You probably have to close the editor.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do that right now. I want to see if I can modify anything else here with these modeling tools. So V-Sculpt, Warp, Lattice. Okay, Lattice is the interesting one. But looks like Lattice disappears as soon as I select more than one mesh, which is a shame. So because I think what I wanted to do and what I saw that they did and I'm wondering how they did this now, because in Valley of the Ancients they took one of these pie plates and it was very just a regular grid of stuff and they made a hill out of it. And it's like, how are they doing that if they're deforming it, tile by tile? All right, but we did promise that this is a raffling stream and we're doing big packs. So I don't want to disappoint. This is our Labor Day. It's not a sale. It's a Labor Day weekend giveaway. So we are going to... oh, there it goes. Boom. Okay, memory's freed up, Harry.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, this is probably clicked some combination of things you weren't supposed to.
Yep. Hey, New Nightstone.
Yeah, so you would basically probably have to go to Threadripper, which is like the workstation platform. It's like a different socket, different everything, and it gets really expensive. But
I would knock on AMD's door. AMD is one of our partners. Maybe they could provide us with a CPU at least.
Give us 10,000 worth of equipment. Yeah.
Well, how much is the CPU alone? How much is a Threadripper?
I no idea. $2,000?
Are you serious? A Threadripper is $2,000?
The 64 core one, yes. I think because I got my 16 core 5950 for $1,000. I mean, that's what is the MSRP. I got it for 700 euros from some
Ow.
people that didn't know what they were selling, because back
Ow.
then they were like unavailable. But that was nice.
And what's the availability like for
I
CPUs?
probably they are quite. They're not particularly new. Like
Well, no, I mean, you know how it's
I'm not sure
impossible to get
I'm not
semiconductors now.
Well. I think that should be fairly available. I'm not up to date on the latest Threadripper because their release schedules are sort of lagging. They're not in sync. They're not releasing the desktop parts and the workstation parts at the same time. Yeah, it's $4,000. The 3990X, which I think is the latest. It's like the 64 core one.
Okay. Well, I wanted to show off the modeling tools, but I can't do it with these nanite meshes because it's just absolutely pegging my memory right now. So that's unfortunate. And it looks like at the very least, I'm going to have to upgrade my RAM to see if we can... I mean, I could create a polygonal mesh because the tools would let me like lay down polygons and do it. I could do it that way, but what they did for Valley of the Ancients was they automated it. They took these pie plates and they ran their new voxel wrap system on top of it, and they were able to create very efficiently automated collision geometry for this. And the reason you want automated collision geometry, and the reason we have it turned off right now, you know, I'll show you again, is because Nanite's literally millions of polygons, and you don't want to be testing collision against millions of polygons when you're running around in terrain. All right, but I did promise some raffles, so I'm going to pass it off back to Ronan. And Ronan, what was the last pack we did? My last big pack?
We just did a shifter that was for $500.
Okay, and there is no pack above that, is there?
I don't think so. I think it goes all the way up to the you know what.
Oh, well, all right then. Well, since it's coming up on the hour and we keep these streams to about 2 hours, I think it's time to do what everyone's been waiting for, and it's time to raffle away the Arc Leech pack, the $1,500 pack. But before we do that, I'm going to ping Discord and I'm going to tweet it. All right? Because I think everybody wants to be here for that. So let's do this right now.
How many people can we get here?
Oh, I messed that up. I put a space in it.
Who's this F guy? Incidentally, there is an F guy.
That poor guy. That poor guy. I'm going to get hate mail for that. Oh, it did.
What?
I
Did you do it
typed
again?
that correctly. It's everyone, right?
Yep.
It's time for the Arc Leech pack giveaway.
He doesn't seem to be online, so.
Well, thank goodness, because that would be terrible. All right, I'm going to tweet this out.
By the way, your avatar has no legs.
Are my non-legs showing?
Yes.
That's all right. We're doing more important stuff. We're giving away an Arc Leech pack. Okay, then I'm going to need a server link here. So let's go over in here. Going to let's create an invite link. Okay.
Yeah, if you just
Tweet's gone out. So we'll wait for some people to arrive here. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need more RAM, Harry. At least 128. And I don't know if I'm going to need cores.
You probably not. I mean, depending on how well it can actually utilize the cores once it's not constrained by the SSD. And you should all, get one of those SSDs that I have, the whatchamacallit, PCIe 4 SSDs, the NVMe ones.
Yep.
I have a 2 terabyte one. It's neat. It's everything in there. I don't even have a mechanical drive, so it's probably going to die really soon. The SSDs don't really like when you use them for paging files.
Your system is a
You know.
beast.
Yeah, it's really neat. Well, I still have the sponsored video card from NVIDIA. So.
All right, how are we looking for attendance here? What's it looking like, Ronan?
Ooh, where are we at here? Let's see. How many people do we have now? I think a couple people are still trickling in, so it's hard to say. Have we hit 200 yet? It's hard to count all these.
These are our placeholder rocks dropping from the sky for the Thumper encounter. So we mine these resources. All right, we'll give people a couple minutes to trickle in here. This is a big pack, the big finale pack giveaway. Oh, knee biters.
Yeah, these numbers. Did we hit? Because the last raffle we had 170 something people, so we're over 99 on the chief chat, and we've got potentially more than that just kind of watching and waiting for the raffle to pop up.
I mean, there might be people just watching the stream for the audio's sake.
Indeed.
And not being in channel.
Yeah, dev builds run a lot slower than the release build, which is why you're getting a lot of motion blur
I get 15 FPS.
frame
I
rate
get
drops.
50 FPS all the time. To be honest, the motion blur, we didn't put the post-processing volume inside here. So that's how we control the motion blur, chromatic aberration, and these kinds of nonsense. So I have to still add that to the option setting.
All right, guys, let's do it. We are doing the big ol' $1,500 Arc League pack giveaway, our Labor Day weekend giveaway. And we're going to do that right now, but we're going to do a practice raffle first because we like to draw out the suspense and make sure that everybody knows how this works. So, Ronan, let's do it. Let's do the practice, and then let's, with much fanfare, do the Arc League pack.
With much fanfare. All right, guys. So we got a few new people in here, so we're going to go ahead and let's see here. Okay, we're gonna tell you guys how to do a raffle. All right, so the way this works, you're gonna see a sentence from Faye, our community coordinator. Underneath that, you'll see a sentence from Em8er, and underneath that, you'll see an emoji that is a notepad with a pencil on it. You're gonna click on that. That puts you in the running. Don't click it twice because it will take you out. You don't want that to happen, and you'll know that you're in because it will be blue. It will turn blue, and it's very simple. When you see the raffle, you just click on it. You wait about 30 seconds, and you find out if you are the lucky one. Or not. Today we're giving away a friggin' Arc League, a friggin' giant pack. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and we're gonna do the test so you guys know how it works. But then we're gonna talk a little bit about all the stuff that comes in it. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. All right, Faye, when you're ready for the test, lay it on them.
Okay, is everybody ready? You have your mouse ready to click? On your marks, get set, click. And remember, no posting while it's running. And yes, this is a test raffle, so everyone can see how it works. Don't click on any other emojis except the pencil one. Otherwise, you won't be entered in any raffles. And remember, just because you win my thanks doesn't mean you can't win the big prize. Oh, look at that. Carnage won. Congratulations.
Okay, now Faye, if you have that graphic, if you could put it there in main lobby media so everybody can see it there. We're gonna also post it here in main lobby, but we know how it'll get lost pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Okay. It is set at $1,499.95. Okay, so that means you got to seriously put something in to get this. Okay, what does it come with? The Herald. When you enter a zone, everyone will receive a voice announcement with your title and your role-playing name. Basically, it'll say, Archliege Ronan has entered the area. Or in this case, is on the field. That kind of stuff. That will be awesome. I mean, I'm sure no one here has that kind of ego where they would enjoy that, right? I mean, just nobody wants everybody to know they're in the room. Yeah. All right, let's see what else. Then you get the max variants. It's a purple, orange, and chroma skin. You get 5 playable mock-ups. That means when it's ready, you'll be able to send out mock-ups to your friends to be like, hey, come play this game. You get 5 copies of the final game. Now that will be amazing. You'll be able to reserve a guild name. So when Em8er adds the guild system, you'll be able to already have your name set up and ready to go so no one can steal it. You'll get a custom insignia for use across your dropship, G-Suit, and banners. That means some kind of symbol that no one else in the entire game could possibly have. Get a custom colored founder and max dropship. You pick the colors. So that means your dropship will look like your dropship, like no one else's. You get a chroma pattern. You get a custom colored founder G-Suit version 2. That's right. You pick the colors. Okay. You get a custom OmniFrame battle banner. So just lots of showing off is what you get to do here. And like everybody will look at you and be like, you're the best. And you just be like, yes, I am. Okay. You get to create a custom NPC for the game. Now this one is wild. You get access to having a character that looks the way you want them to look. You can make yourself. You can make a friend. You can make a Grum's avatar. Oh, probably not. But you can make something amazing and have it here in the game. That's right. Perfect for fan fiction. Exactly. And of course, every other reward that you see in this current campaign. So if it's in one of the lower packs, you get it here too. The Archliege is massive. It is epic. The biggest part to me is all that custom stuff. All that custom stuff. I mean, talk about being in the game.
Hey, we're not EA here. Careful.
Copyright infringement notwithstanding.
More like tarnishing our reputation.
Oh yeah, we don't want to do that. Just start throwing out random slogans from everybody else. Quick shop.
We build worlds.
Become legend. Wait for it. Dairy. All right, guys, we're gonna freaking do this.
Is this it? Is this the pack time?
It is time.
We got 2 more new people hopping in. Y'all better hurry up and get in here.
You missed the practice run. Will you be able to just wing it, as they say?
Em8er is like Skyrim with guns. What?
It just works.
Although that would actually be pretty cool, admittedly. But that's
I'd rather be Skyrim with guns than WoW with guns. Just saying.
Goob wants to get banned. It's not like Dark Souls. Okay, you cut that out.
For those just arriving, I've posted a screenshot in our main lobby media channel so you can see how to participate in the raffle successfully.
I'm going to put up the Discord screen so the people on stream know where they should go.
Mouse gods, hear me.
For those of you just tuning in, we are giving away our $1,500 Arc Leech pack. This is the time to get into our Discord server while I sit here and futz with Unreal.
Sorry to hear that, Tony. I hope you feel better. Oh, the people. Oh, the excited people.
Are we just waiting for more people to get in on this raffle?
Just giving them a couple more minutes, but it's about time.
It's very generous of you.
TikTok, y'all. Are you ready? Are you ready? Now remember, when the raffle is running, do not post anything. Click on the notepad. The magical notepad that can make your dreams come true. Okay, Faye. That's enough suspense. We're gonna make them wait 15 more. I'm just kidding. All right, go for it. Let's go.
Let's do this. This is for the mega of mega packs.
Okay, is everybody ready? This is for the Arc Leech. Now remember, when I post, no talking. On your marks. Get set. Click.
Yes. What will it be? What will it be? $264 people. 269.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Divinous Wow, you better hurry up and click on the right emoji.
Do not get sucked in by the false emojis. They do not love you. They are not your friend. The winner is Mercy. Have mercy. My goodness. What a
Holy
freaking
moly.
win.
Wow. Congratulations, Mercy. That is amazing. You have won the Mac Daddy of all packs.
Would that make it the Pack Daddy?
Mercy, were you already a newcomer backer or an M3 backer? Or is this your first time?
I think Mercy, it mentions a dollar pack richer. So my guess is they at least had a dollar pack. I don't know. This is, you might say, slightly larger than a dollar pack.
Talk about the multiplicative effects that can happen here in the Discord channel on Ember. Mercy, congratulations. That is fantastic. Are you there, Mercy? Did you faint? You still got a message, Ronan?
Mercy.
Oh, no. Where's Mercy? Should Mercy not be able to fulfill their Archliege duties, the duties will fall to the next runner-up. Do they still say that?
Yeah, there you go. Pack.
Yeah, okay. Poggers.
They got a newcomer pack. There we go. Mercy, you want a freaking Archliege?
That is awesome. All right, I'm going to save this. Because this is not even a release version of Unreal. I learned to save often. We crashed the last stream, which was very, very sad. But we have saved here. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you too much of the modeling tools as I'm new to them, and apparently to do the voxel wrap, which is the collision geometry making technique that I wanted to show you, requires more RAM than my computer has at the moment. We will correct that. We are going to finish up this little area here that we're doing around Hangar 1. This is our white box level where we sort of like test things with the community. And we will finish out this area here, just around the hangar, which will include basically hundreds, if not well over 1,000 of these zillion polygon meshes. And I'm going to build some more assemblies too, so get a little more variety in there. And once that's ready, we will ship that out to you next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to get more RAM. So you guys have a good time. I want to thank everybody for being on stream. This has been a great stream. That was our Labor Day stream giveaway. We had some fabulous packs that we gave away. And you know what? Ronan? We got to end with one more ketchup pack. We got to do, before I go, we got to do one more ketchup pack for these skins. I'm going to put the movie on so people know one of the skins that they're getting at the very least. And this is the Felly skin running in Unreal Engine 5. We just ported over our development build to Unreal Engine 5, and we're going to do one more catch-up pack which includes this skin plus all the other ones up so far to not including the current month. And we'll do that, and then we'll call it a day. So let's go ahead, Ronan. Let's do it.
Oh, ketchup pack. Okay, a ketchup pack for those who don't know. Every month, if you're an Ember patron, you get a brand new skin. They range. Oh, there's all kind of skins. It could be for a gun, could be for a mech, could be for a pet even. Maybe a mount. That's right. Now there's some husbandos in there, some sexy badass dudes, and of course the most popular of all, the waifus, the ladies that are beyond description. There's many of them. And they are all wonderful. All right, Faye, let's do this ketchup pack. Let's just unload it. Let's go.
Okie dokie. Is everyone ready? On your mark, get set, and click.
That's right. Remember not to post while a raffle is going. Everybody needs a chance to see it. We don't want it scrolling away. And of course, remember, it's only that notepad on that first little sentence under Emberbot that actually works. Everything else is just a troll. It's there to mess with you. You can't trust it. That crab right there, right next to it, you see that crab? It's evil. It's lying to you. Don't trust it. Even the bunny ears can't be trusted in this case. The winner is Mandrel. Congratulations, Mandrel. You win all the skins. Send me a private message right away. Let me know your Ember ID that you use on myember.com, and that is how you will get the skins. All right, Grums, the final raffle is done. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ronan. Thank you very much, Faye. Thank you very much, Jedi. Everybody in the community team who's here today. Thank you, Harry, for being on stream, talking about server stuff, our one unified server, our gigantic Ember planet for the entire world that will be playing this game. That was the big reveal today. And want to let you know, if you missed out on any of the raffles, any of the catch-up packs, or a chance to win this Felly skin, this skin is available until the end of Friday, early morning Saturday usually. No guarantees on the early morning Saturday. You still have time to grab this skin today and tomorrow. So head over to my.ember.com if you want to grab it. In the general store, moderators, please post the link to Discord as well as to Twitch. So if anyone's interested, they can go grab it because it's only going to be available for a little time. Then it gets vaulted and then you won't see it again for another year because this is a once-a-year skin. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for your time and attention and for tuning in. And this is going pretty well now. I'm starting to make good progress. Once this is all peppered out and I've adjusted the lighting a bit, we will go ahead and jump in and we will test performance with Nanite meshes in Unreal 5 with everybody hopping on the server next week. All right, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day weekend. Take care.